I do with Maricela. Perfect ceremony, love will grow. I do with Maricela.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to episode 12. Weddings, traditional, micro, elopement. Which one is right for you? Do you really need a 150 people wedding to have the wedding of your dreams? Sometimes. Or would a small intimate celebration or even an elopement be a better fit?
More couples, more than ever, are asking themselves, what kind of wedding do we actually want?
Mm-hmm. So today we're breaking down the differences between a traditional wedding, a micro wedding, and an elopement, so you can decide which one fits you best. And mostly for your budget, for your relationship, and for the space where you're gonna be at. So which one fits you best?
We'll talk about the pros and the cons of each,
Mm-hmm.
the biggest misconceptions, and how to choose a celebration that's right for you, not everyone else.
Big one, always. Hello, everyone. I am Maricela, the celebratory storyteller that brings your dream wedding ceremony to life.
I'm Henry, Maricela's right hand, and your relationship officiant. I'm here during the entire process to make sure everything from client meetings to wedding day logistics runs smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
Today's conversation covers what defines each wedding style, right? Because it's going to be different for everybody.
Absolutely.
The biggest differences, right?
Mm-hmm.
Budget considerations,
Big one.
right? And common mistakes to avoid.
Mm-hmm.
Social media often showcase extravagant weddings, right?
Oh, yeah.
Making couples feel that that's the expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Family traditions and outside opinions can also influence this decision.
Always.
As we see it all, we see this all the time,
As
right?
we often talk about, yeah.
Many couples start planning before asking what they truly want in their weddings.
Yes, very surprising that they do that, but yes, they really do. The reality is that there isn't a better option, right? One is not better than the other. They're just different. They're different alternatives, and you choose them based on, one, what you want, what fits your style, what fits your budget, what fits your personalities, and what fits the vision that you truly want. But before you even decide that, you have to sit down and think and talk about what you truly want first, the two of you, the couple. First and foremost, very important, sit down and think about what you actually want before you have opinions and advice from everybody else, first and foremost.
Right. Okay. So let's jump right into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is a traditional wedding?
A traditional wedding is what you think of most often when you're first thinking about wedding. So a traditional wedding usually includes anywhere between at least 50 guests to over that 200 plus. I mean, you're looking at, we've seen 300 people wedding, 500 people weddings. The number is indefinite, but it's usually at least 50 to whatever maximum. That's a traditional wedding. It generally includes a wedding party, like bridesmaids,
party.
groomsmen, flower girls, all that good stuff. The timeline is more formal, right? There are formal rehearsals for these things.
Yeah, you better not even think about having this ceremony without a coordinator of this size.
Of this size.
Right, and this
No,
magnitude.
No,
right.
We've seen what happens with that. So no, weddings this size require coordination, professional coordination, and they require rehearsals because you're spending a whole lot of money, you're having a lot of people, lots of moving pieces to fill in the time. And these weddings usually go longer. They start earlier in the day and they go until the end of day. The more timelines we've seen is they end at 10 p.m. But they can end at midnight still.
Right.
But these have the tendency, because they are so big and because they are so elaborate, sometimes they require more time. So they'll start earlier in the day versus in the evening, maybe 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, around there. You have a full ceremony, full 30-minute ceremony, and full reception. Generally either a buffet style reception or a plated meal reception. And there is obviously the dinner and dancing. So it's a full thing. This one is best for couples with large families, right? Large families, large sets
Lots
of
of
friends.
friends, right?
Yeah. Those who love hosting. Now, there's some people out there who really do love to host, and they're amazing hosts,
Right.
and they can handle parties this size.
The bigger the better for
That's
those kind
their
of
jam.
couples. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just waiting for an opportunity to be able to host something, and this is perfect for them. And also for couples that do honestly want to celebrate with everyone that they know, co-workers, family, long time no see, family and
Relatives,
friends.
right?
They'll call everybody out and say, "Hey, come, celebrate with us." It's perfect for those
Right.
situations.
But this does come with a challenge, though.
Always, right? These comes with a higher budget, right? You
Much
need
higher.
more money because you're feeding a lot more people, you're hosting a lot more
entertaining
people,
a lot
you're
more people,
entertaining
yeah.
a lot more people, seating, tables, all that good stuff. Because you are planning for a larger guest list.
Okay, so that's your traditional wedding, right? What
Yes.
about a micro wedding?
We see them often too, right? Very, very, very often. Typically, those are around 11 to 50 guests.
Those seem to be more popular nowadays.
More popular
right?
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
From last year to this year, this is the micro wedding is what we're seeing more
A
often.
lot more, yeah.
Uh-huh. It's still a full wedding, but on a smaller scale, right? You still have all the elements of a full traditional wedding, but shorter. So instead of a full 30-minute ceremony, we'll do a 15 to 20-minute ceremony. You'll still have all the elements. There's still dinner. There's still all that, but just for less people and a more intimate atmosphere. These are the kinds that you can even have at restaurants if they accommodate that size. You can have those two small wedding venues are
Right.
perfect for that too.
I think in our case, right, it lands literally between the micro and a full traditional wedding, right? Because we had,
Yeah.
70, 75 guests for,
Mhm.
for our wedding.
Yeah, we did
Right?
75
And
about.
we chose it like that because we wanted it to be very intimate, right?
Yes.
We wanted it to be a moment that we could share with everybody there. And we absolutely were not going to have somebody there that either one of us didn't know.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't want any strangers at my
No,
wedding.
No. So we had to know everybody. We had to like everybody, right? And we wanted to be able to, enjoy that moment with everybody.
Yeah, talk to them, take some pictures with them,
Right.
have a chat with them for a little bit, maybe a dance with some of them.
Now, this kind of mindset kind of gets lost in the traditional full-size,
Yeah.
200 plus, guests.
You can't
type
really
of
talk to
ceremony,
everybody.
Weddings, right? No, you can't.
No.
There's no way you can fit it all in.
No.
Right.
Sometimes you'll even forget who was there because you didn't really see them and you didn't really talk to them.
Or
They'll
in-
tell you later.
Or
they
in
were there.
those, you're gonna have a lot of people you do not know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
something we didn't want.
Yeah.
Right,
I
so-
certainly didn't want that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I certainly didn't want that. But we did still have the size that we had just because, my family is so big.
Right.
We just have a regular gathering on a random Wednesday and it's a party.
And I think that's an understatement, right? When she says big, literally, I think my family took up one table. All the other tables were taken by yours,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. What can you do?
Right.
So, but those are the situations that you have. So you plan for those, right? I knew we couldn't have no elopement and no small micro wedding with the size of the family that I have, and I like my family, and
Right.
I would like them to be there. So that's why we opted for the wedding that we did have.
Right.
So I did want everyone to be there.
So the micro weddings, what are they best for?
They're best for couples who want to spend more quality time with their guest, right? They do want to go around talking to them, maybe have a photo, maybe even have a dance with some friends and whatnot. Those two that have smaller budgets, right? You can't really have the full scale thing, but you can afford to have the traditional ceremony, but on a smaller scale, you can still do that. And those two that want to have more personalized experiences, right? Like you want to have a trend, like you want one or two trends, but you can't afford to have those trends unless your wedding guest list is smaller. Then you can afford to have the trends that you really like because you can
Definitely
allocate the money for that.
Better for the budget, right?
Better for the budget.
But on the same token, for the full-size ceremony, just because you can afford it doesn't mean you should,
No,
right?
no. That which also goes back to what we always say: consider what you truly want. Just
Right.
because you can doesn't mean that you should.
Right.
So consider what you really want, what is really important to you, what do you value, and plan a wedding based on that.
Right.
You know, the benefits of a micro wedding are lower costs, right? Like we said,
More intimate.
more intimate, less stress
Less
because there's
stress.
less to plan, less to
Right.
do, more flexibility as to where you can have
Yeah.
a wedding because of the smaller guest count. There are more options,
More options.
for you.
Absolutely.
And then you can have, you can sit down and have a chat with somebody that you haven't seen in a little bit, or just catch up, and you can do that.
All right. So the third type of ceremony or wedding is an elopement.
Very popular.
A lot of people, though, have a misunderstanding of what an elopement is, right?
An elopement is, it could be anywhere between just the couple and the officiant, right? Just the three.
Right.
Just the three people. A handful of guests. Generally, we say about 10, no more than 10 guests. An elopement is really something where you're going to a location, almost like think of a pop-up wedding, right? Like a little pop-up event. We're going to go there. We're going to meet there. We're going to perform the ceremony for them, and they're going to go off and take pictures.
And maybe go have dinner somewhere else afterwards.
Somewhere
right?
else, yeah.
Because of the group that little, it's literally you can just go.
You could
into
go have
any
lunch.
restaurant. Yeah, exactly.
Anywhere in town,
Right.
and it's not a problem. You don't even need reservations because it's like
Probably
four
should.
of you.
Probably should. But
You probably should still, but
yeah.
if it's just the couple, or if it's the couple and the photographer and the officiant,
Right.
or their best friends or their parents, they can just pick up and go and go eat somewhere.
I think a chapel, right? A chapel is a perfect place for an elopement.
Oh yeah, we have those all the time.
We
where
have,
they'll just come in.
Come have it
Yeah.
at our chapel.
Absolutely, you're always welcome. And sometimes too, they'll have the elopements, not really for any financial reason, but they will elope to do the legalities, to take care of the legal paperwork before, and then they plan to have a big event later on, maybe the next year, either here in the States or a destination wedding in another country. Those serve well for that too.
Well, let's talk about why sometimes we see people elope, right? Sometimes it's not for the best reasons, right?
No. I do often wonder, and of course they'll tell me eventually, right? But I do often wonder why couples come alone when they do come for an elopement, either to our office, to our chapel, or we meet them anywhere, where it's just them. It's literally the four of us, right? It's the couple and you and myself. And I will always often wonder why are your parents not here? Why don't you have friends here?
Friends, family.
Your
right.
family, someone else, right? And some often, not always, but often, sometimes they live here alone. They don't have family. Family is not here, and family can't come for whatever reason that is. And so they elope, and they have to elope alone. Other times it's because of family drama.
That's big.
They're forced to
Right.
have an elopement because
That's probably the biggest
drama.
one. Right?
it's the one that we see most often.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As they're trying to arrange a marriage, trying to bring families together, and the families are just not having it.
They don't want that.
Right? They don't want that for them.
No.
They don't want to be part of it.
No, and then the families too, sometimes they're okay with the couple, but then they don't want to see anyone else there. They have a problem with another side of the family or whatnot.
Right.
And it creates such a big commotion that because of that animosity that is shared between those members, the couple decides, you know what, let's just elope and have no one there so that we don't have to deal with you guys' crazy drama.
And we've talked a lot about this, right, on previous episodes about the stress of trying to
It's already so stressful.
put together a wedding, right?
It's so stressful even when everyone does get along.
Yeah.
When everyone is lovey-dovey and everyone is excited and everyone is cool, it's stressful in those situations. Now imagine doing all of that and your family hates each other.
Right.
Or they hate you. I don't know. I
Right.
mean, situations are crazy, right? But But that it does make me a little bit sad where couples choose to have an elopement instead of what they really, really would like because of the other members of their family. And that usually includes the main ones, like the parents.
Right.
Parents and siblings are the usual cause of
Right.
why people decide to elope versus having the wedding that they really do want. It's a little bit sad, but it's unfortunately it is reality.
I think,
it
yeah,
will continue
it's
to
very
happen.
unfortunate, right?
It's very unfortunate.
This is supposed to be a very happy moment, right? One of the happiest moments of your life.
We're also too, as guests, we're supposed to put our feelings aside or our animosities aside for the couple, right? We're supposed to do that.
Yeah.
We're supposed to put whatever we feel to the side and be there for them and be present for them and support them and be civilized. But that doesn't happen, and it is not what we see often. And so it will continue to happen, unfortunately. But that is a sad aspect of it.
Yeah, it is. And unfortunately, another sad aspect of it is for medical reasons.
What do you mean?
They elope.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Last
for sure.
minute.
Last minute.
Yeah. Health
Last minute-
issues.
Health issues.
Right? You don't know how long you're going to be around, or your partner's going to be around. You got to take care of legal
matters.
You know what I mean? And it makes it easier if you're married versus you're not
Always.
when you're living together, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
so
yeah.
we do a lot of those as well, right?
Yeah. Health issues where they're not certain what tomorrow is going to hold for
Right.
them. And in order to not burden the person who's staying, who's going to be living with daunting paperwork and whatnot, they decide to get married and make it legal so that at least they have an easier time
Right.
managing those legal things after
Right.
they go.
Right.
And that's also sad too.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
It's sad, but it's a beautiful thing as well because ultimately they're choosing each other, and they want to legalize and make official their relationship before they leave.
Before it's
this
too
earth.
late.
Yeah.
All right. So, what are some common mistakes couples make?
Choosing based on family expectations instead of personal priorities, right? Like we were just saying, sometimes couples make decisions based on other people, mostly their family, versus what they really, really want. And I think that happens. It doesn't matter how old you are. The pressure is very real. You can be young, you can be middle-aged. The pressure from family will come no matter what, and no matter how old you are, and or where you land in the family life. Pressure will be there.
What's another big mistake?
That people feel or think that a smaller wedding means that there's less love or that it's less meaningful, and that's not true.
No.
A wedding, regardless of how you have it, is a beautiful event. It's very meaningful and should be meaningful for the couple. Just because you decide to have an elopement or a micro wedding doesn't mean that you love each other less or that you love your families less. It's not about that at all. It's just what fits for you, your budgets, your personalities, and what's going on in life.
Yeah, and whether whichever kind of wedding you choose, formal, micro, elopement, you're still gonna get the best from us.
Absolutely.
Right? We're gonna treat every single
Yeah.
couple, like it's the most important marriage there is. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because this marriage is important, the most important to them.
Right.
So
We're
while
gonna treat it that way.
while we're dealing with them, we're gonna treat it exactly the same way.
Right.
This marriage is the most important marriage there
Right.
is.
Whether it's
at this
just
time.
you two, the couple, or whether it's 300,
Everyone.
300 you and 300 guests,
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So what's an actionable tip here?
Ask yourself first: Do we value intimacy or a big celebration? What speaks to us, right? Because what kind of people you are.
Right.
For example, me, I'm a party girl, right? I love a good party. You're more reserved on the smaller scale. So those are things that you think about. What is important to you?
Which is
What
probably
represents you?
Which is probably why we ended up in the
the
middle,
middle.
right? for
Yeah.
our wedding.
Because I certainly could have invited a lot more people. The only reason we didn't, see, they didn't fit anymore. That was it. We were at max capacity. But also too, like, what's most important to you? Is it the guest list that matters to you most? Is it the experience that matters to you most? Or is it the budget that matters to you most? Sometimes it's going to have to be the budget, because
Right.
there is no budging on that budget.
Right.
We can do what we can do, and that's that. So you plan according to that.
What would be another good tip?
To think about, like, for in our case, right? We're now a few years later, and when we look back at our wedding, does that still meet with who we are and what
Right.
our personalities are? Were we happy with that? And you kind of know that just based on how you're feeling in the beginning. And for us, it's yes. The answer is
absolutely.
still yes. We still love the wedding that we had. We still loved the type of wedding that we had, the number of guests that we had. Everything was perfect, was great. I loved all of it.
Right.
And I'm very happy with the decisions we made.
And we got to enjoy it.
And we got to enjoy
Right?
it.
We really did. Yeah.
Heck yeah. I danced all night long.
So what's a good comparison between the three styles here, the three type of weddings?
Well, the traditional. So the traditional, the pros to that is that you can celebrate with everyone, right? There's no one is excluded. Everyone can come. Yes to all.
The more the merrier.
The more
right?
the merrier.
Right,
Big party atmosphere, right? Great DJ. Everyone's having a great time. The dancing and entertainment, you're going to have a lot of fun because everyone is going to be in it. The con to that is you have less one-on-one time with your guest. So you might not be able to have pictures with everyone. You might not see them, and you might not talk to them. And sometimes that's okay. And guests at big weddings do expect that. They do know that you might not be able to come around and talk to them. Like no one is really mad because I didn't get to see you one-on-one at a big wedding. Like, people do understand for the most part. So that's okay.
Okay. What's a pro for a micro wedding?
More quality time, right? Because you do have time to go around and talk to people and whatnot. The atmosphere is also a little bit more relaxed versus a structured timeline with a traditional wedding. And you can have intimate conversations and have little photo times with people because you have time for that.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Pros for an elopement.
For an elopement, that would be completely personal, right? Elopements are completely personal and intimate to the couple present. You focus entirely on each other, and there really is no pressure because there's no one there to pressure you.
Right. No logistics really to worry about.
No logistics, no moving pieces, no real hard timelines. The only timeline that exists for an elopement is what time are we showing up and what time are we expected to finish, and really that's it.
And no budget really required.
No real big budget, really,
Yeah.
no. But I do want to make sure that everyone understands, like when they ask for quotes and you're eloping, elopements, yes, will cost less than a micro wedding and then a full traditional wedding. Elopements will cost less. Why? Because the officiants, they don't have to spend extra time at your elopement. So we don't have to arrive early the way that we do with other weddings, 30 minutes to an hour. We don't have to do that. We literally just show up. We're
on time.
on the time, on the dot. We perform the ceremony, we sign the docs, and we get going. So for the officiants, it's less time, therefore less cost for you.
That brings me to
That's why people ask how many people. That's why officiants ask how many people are going to be at your wedding. That's the reason why they ask that.
Well, that's why we ask.
That's why we ask.
Right? We know that there are other officiants, not us, that will charge you based on the number of guests you will be having.
Yes.
Which is just ridiculous to us.
I don't like that.
Right? We're going to be performing the same ceremony regardless.
Whether you have 50 people,
2 people, or 300 people.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But
the only time that we ask the differences is for the elopements. Like, if you're really going to have an elopement, then we want to charge you appropriately for an elopement versus a full traditional wedding. So that's the only reason why we'll ask if how many people are going to be at your wedding. Otherwise, micro wedding or full traditional wedding, it doesn't matter to us. We're going to perform with whether there's 11 people there or 500 people there. It's going to be the same, and we don't have any price differences there.
As it should be.
As it should be.
If you ask us, at least.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So what's a budget comparison between all of these?
Traditional weddings generally have the highest overall cost just because of the guest count.
Right.
You have to pay for everybody that is showing up to your wedding. You have to hydrate them. You have to feed them. You have to seat them. You know,
entertain them.
You have to entertain them.
Right.
You know, they have to have enough space for them, parking, all that stuff.
Right.
The bigger your venue, the bigger your cost is going to be. Right. It's going to cost you more. Micro weddings often allow couples to invest more per the guests because they're on a smaller scale, and sometimes they have really nice elevated dining. Right, they'll go to a very beautiful restaurant, a high scale restaurant, a steakhouse maybe even, and it's just 10 of them. And you can do that. You can put that extra cost in a really beautiful upscale dinner because it's just the 10 of you, and you can afford to do that.
That reminds me of that one we did in downtown. Remember on the Bonaventure?
Oh yeah.
There was a steakhouse up there, like on the 40th floor or something like that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And it was like 20 of them. Right, they rented a room in the steakhouse, and it was just private for them, and it was a beautiful ceremony.
It was a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Very intimate.
Very intimate,
right?
very private.
Overseeing the skyline of downtown LA.
And that steakhouse gave them, where they had the room reserved. It was perfect because there were no interruptions. There was no loud noises coming from the other part of the restaurant. It was very private, very quiet, and it worked beautifully for what they wanted.
Right.
And the huge windows there. It was perfect.
Yeah, it's beautiful. All right, we're at the rapid fire segment again. So what's the biggest takeaway here?
Don't choose the wedding that looks best online.
Right.
Again, we say choose a wedding that you'll enjoy living through because you're the one who has to move through the wedding. You have to move through the ceremony. You have to move through cocktail hour. You have to move through all the activities that you're planning. You yourselves have to move through them. So choose a wedding style and options that you would like to move through. If you don't like cocktail hour, don't have cocktail hour.
Right.
If that's not something that you want to do, choose elements that you actually like and that represent you and that you can afford.
Yeah.
Very big.
Yeah.
So I think cost is what I think social media wants to make us forget is budget. Because they don't have a budget.
Right.
They want to make you feel like you shouldn't have a budget, but that's not realistic.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of couples that break the bank when planning for a wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, going into debt to have a wedding is maybe not the best financial start for a couple when $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in debt. I don't know. If that's your jam, go for it, right? But it's tough because you have to pay all that money back.
So best wedding advice when choosing what type of wedding you're going to have?
The best wedding is the wedding that feels like you. And we all know who we are, right? We all know who we are. Like I know I'm a party girl. You're more a reserved type of guy. We all know who we are. Or at least we should know who we are. And so talk about it with yourselves. Like you'll in a couple, you'll have two people that are a little bit different from each other, right? We're not exactly the same. So we kind of fell right in the middle. That's what normally you'll have to do. Pick something in the middle of both of your personalities that you're happy with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest mistake couples make when choosing the right type of wedding?
Picking the wedding that they pick the wedding that they think they should have versus the one that they truly want to have. And if you're feeling like that's what you're having to do, I suggest go back to the drawing board and think about it some more. And your wedding should really, truly reflect you and not anybody else.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
One thing every couple should spend money on for their wedding.
No matter what kind of wedding that you're having, photography. Photography is important. And you don't have to have a professional photographer if that's not in the budget, but bring a friend who knows how to take good pictures and take some because you're going to want those no matter what size. If it's just the two of you or 500 of you, you're going to want those photos.
You want
Believe
pictures,
us.
absolutely.
You're going to want them. So if you have to put money somewhere, put it there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So when planning a wedding, what's one thing couples should skip?
Inviting people out of obligation instead of what they truly want, right? Like that pressure that we keep talking about from family, mostly from family, is inviting people that we don't really know, we don't really like, we haven't seen.
Right.
Don't.
Right. So, traditional, micro, or elopement.
Mm-hmm.
There's no right answer. Only the right fit for each couple.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Maricela, what is the wedding tip of the week?
Before you book a venue or build your guest list, sit down together and answer one question, right? How do we want our wedding day to feel? This is what we always ask couples. How do you want your wedding to feel? And let that feeling guide the rest of your planning. Because any wedding type is great. Nothing is wrong with any of them. You just have to pick the one that resonates with you.
Right.
And you're going to, in wedding planning, you're going to want to elope at least once. You just are.
So, traditional weddings, micro weddings, and elopements each have their own advantages, right?
Mm-hmm.
None is better than the other.
Mm-mm.
They simply serve different priorities.
Yep. And your wedding doesn't have to look like anybody else's wedding.
No.
It doesn't have to look like your friend's wedding, your cousin's wedding, and some wedding on Pinterest. It doesn't have to look like anybody else's wedding. The goal isn't to impress others, or to follow the trends. It's to find something that resonates with you. You want to begin your marriage, because that's what we're doing. We're beginning marriage, right? And you want to begin that marriage in a way that feels authentic to the both of you.
Right. If this episode helped you understand the different wedding styles, we'd love for you to subscribe and leave us a review.
Mm-hmm.
It helps us reach more couples who are planning their big day, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And if you're still deciding between a traditional wedding, a micro wedding, or an elopement, send us your questions. And we'd love to hear your story and maybe even feature it on a future episode. So that's our time from us, guys. Thank you so much for listening. I am Maricela.
And I'm Henry.
Love is
Love is
everything.
everything.
Start